My entire life I've had trouble controlling my temper when playing video games. I tend to get emotionally invested and take losses way too seriously, which especially sucks since I love a ton of games that either demand a lot out of the player or make losing a massive setback. So the thought of playing a genre of games that does this to people?
No, not to dog! No!
Of all sad words of tongue or pen.
You're gonna die! You're about to die! No! No, I'm done, I'm fucking done! Fuck you, fuck you!
Sounded like an awful idea, so for the longest time I just watched other people play them, whether that be the iconic Getting Over It playthroughs, or Ludwig's God Gamer Gauntlet, or even more recent games like Only Up and a difficult game about climbing. Though the more videos I watched, the more I wanted to try playing one myself. So recently, I booted up Getting Over It and expected the worst. I ended up beating the game just a couple days later. It was fun. Bennett Foddy, the guy the genre is named after, released Getting Over It in 2017, in which you control a man in a cauldron wielding a hammer. The only objective is to reach the top of this mountain. The main draw of the game is that while on your journey upwards, it's quite easy to mess up and fall, losing tons of progress in seconds.
Oof, sorry about that.
The only control you have is moving the hammer with your mouse, and despite sounding simple, it's incredibly hard to master. The main ways you'll maneuver through the obstacles is by swinging forward if you're on solid ground, swinging up to gain height, and pushing against the ground to propel yourself upward, all of which are usually used in combination with each other. Bennett's main source of inspiration came from a game called Sexy Hiking, a 2002 Flash game that gave him the idea for the hammer control scheme. He talks about this and many other things like game design and digital culture, as well as occasionally reassuring the player when they make it to a higher part of the mountain.
But that's not you, you're an acrobat. You could swallow a baseball bat.
Or, if they make it to a lower part of the mountain, he'll usually read a somber but motivational quote.
The soul would have no rainbow, had the eyes no tears. John Vance Chin.
This game would set the groundwork for the genre, and while there's only been a select few titles that have followed in its footsteps, and that have actually been good, I think that goes to show how perfectly Bennett executed this concept. Although, I wasn't certain I would enjoy it during the first few minutes, as they were by far the most uncomfortable. Getting used to the controls felt quite cumbersome, but the same can be said for actual climbing, so Bennett undoubtedly nailed the awkwardness of it. Still, after that initial slump, I got a pretty good feel for controlling it, and was surprised how engaging it was. I really did expect to get frustrated and drop the game early on, as I tend to do with most challenging games, but something just clicked with me this time. In the end, I beat it in about 4 hours, which is a lot quicker than I was expecting, but I took things very slow and also had a lot of knowledge about the game beforehand from watching so many people play it, so I think those factors helped make it a bit easier on me. Though I had a feeling if it took me longer to beat the game, or if I fell more frequently, I would have eventually gotten sick of playing, and that feeling has unfortunately rung true for the next foddian game I tried, Jump King. In Jump King, you control a king whose only strong suit is being able to jump really high. You must make your way up a very tall tower, where at the top, a smoking hot babe resides. You can walk while on the ground, but as soon as you jump, you have no control over the king until he lands. The challenge of it comes from timing your jumps well, since the height is based on how long you hold the button down for, so it's easy to misjudge and plummet back down. The inclusion of slopes makes falling even more brutal at certain spots as well. While for the most part I had a similar experience to Getting Over It, that being one of surprising enjoyment, Jump King was a stark reminder that I still get angry when being stuck on something for too long. About 7 hours into my playthrough I was in the home stretch, but I had already been playing for a couple hours, so I was pretty fatigued at that point, yet I kept trying to push through despite knowing I needed a break. Thankfully my friends were in a call at the time and helped me stop playing for a bit. After some rest I came back, and beat the section I was stuck on in like 5 minutes. Lesson learned. Taking breaks is great and I should take advantage of them more. I haven't mentioned it yet, but Jump King actually has 3 different towers to climb, with the starting one connecting to the other 2 via hidden entrances. I accidentally stumbled upon one during my first run and just thought it was a shortcut or something, but after getting stuck at the ice section for an embarrassing amount of time, for reference this is how far up it is, I went to go look it up and realized my mistake. However, knowing it was there made me want to try it at some point, so after getting to the top of the first tower, I gave it a shot and it was quite fun. It felt like a good step up in difficulty from the first one. I had also begun half-jokingly saying, "It is what it is," every time I'd fall, but it was genuinely reassuring throughout my ascent. Until I mauled it again. And it was because I was so close to the end that I kept trying even though I definitely needed a break again. God damn it, when will I learn? Turns out constantly playing a game that demands focus, precision, and patience on top of the looming threat of messing something up and losing potential hours of progress in a mere seconds can be draining after a while. Shocker. While working on this video, I beat it after a 2-week break. Damn, I really should try taking breaks more. Despite the occasional bout of frustration, I had tons of fun with Jump King. I haven't even praised some other things that I love about it, like the stunning pixel art that makes reaching new areas feel all the more exciting, or the simple but effective sound effects, or even the surprisingly well done soundtrack that accompanies you through the ups and downs. Although there is one track that I'm definitely sick of, and it's the one you're hearing right now. It's from an area of the second map called Underberg that has wind that cycles between blowing left and right every couple seconds, meaning you have to wait before jumping so the wind can carry you in the direction you want to go. The main problem with this is that most of your time will be spent waiting for the wind, so even if you do everything perfectly the whole way through, it still takes upwards of 3 minutes to get to the next area, which happens to consist mostly of precise jumps, meaning I fell back down to Underberg. A lot. The wind is on a constant cycle regardless of if you're in the area or not, so sometimes you'll fall a lot further purely because of bad luck. I've even been sent to the area before Underberg a couple times. I genuinely think this green hellscape made me a more patient person. Anyways, I'm rambling. I just had to get that out. Writing this script has sort of helped me better understand why I enjoyed playing these two games so much, and I really think it boils down to their simplicity. They always gave me the option to try again immediately after falling. There's no failure screen, no menus to go through, no fluff. Just you, your guy, and a long continuous level to climb. There's something very calming about that. Another thing they made me realize is that the act of working towards something can be reward enough. Making consistent progress feels just as satisfying as beating these games for me, and I don't usually get to that point with a lot of other games, since I tend to give up before I'm able to see that progress in any tangible, meaningful way. That's not to say I haven't experienced it in other games. Hell, most of my favorite games are the ones I've sunk enough time into to see my practice pay off. But foddian games provide it in spades, since you're constantly reinforcing the same skill over and over. With all that said, if there's anything you should take away from this video, it's that you should try a foddian game. Who knows, maybe you'll have fun.